What's
anything?
different about this week compared to other weeks is normally my dilemma here.
Yeah.
Well, the only difference is I went to see the new Bond movie.
I was going to try and
This-
do the theme song, but didn't. I don't know, whatever. That thing.
no,
You
that's
know,
Jaws.
yes. Yeah. Didn't. Didn't. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I should have actually, I should have queued up the James Bond theme song while you were. Yeah. Anyway, so did you go see it?
I did.
All right.
I did. I
Okay.
finally got
Okay.
tickets. Yes.
First question. Rating in terms of Daniel Craig movies. Where did it rank with the rest of his? I mean, you've seen all of the Daniel Craig movies, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
I
Where
quite
would you
like the
rank it?
first one because the first one it stuck out because in the opening scenes, if you compare it to previous Bond movies where he goes through mayhem, right, and he gets into fights and there's a bit of blood. The
A bit
first
of
Daniel
blood.
Craig movie,
Yeah.
he got blixemed. I mean,
Yes.
he was battered and bruised. I
Yeah.
mean, the same thing happens in this movie, but it was a change for me in the traditional Bond formula.
Yeah. So, I
And
mean, you can ask the question. So, in your mind, so far, who's been the best Bond?
it's just so hard. I've always
Well,
been
I
a
mean,
Sean
it's
Connery guy, but I
a,
think Daniel Craig is up there, mate.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would put Daniel Craig up there.
But they have made these movies, they followed the same formula, right?
Yes.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
since the start. This one, they've deviated slightly.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the first thing. So it wasn't just gonna, you kind of know what's gonna come next, and right at the end, he's gonna meet the baddie, and somehow he doesn't get shot by 1,000 people shooting at him. But there's twists and turns here.
Yeah. Yeah. I like from me, I would say out of the Daniel Craig movies, and I've rewatched all of them recently.
Of course you have.
Why would I? I'm not going to go watch the new James Bond. I'm upset with them.
No,
Right?
it's been delayed. I'm boycotting it.
I'm boycotting this. Yeah. Yeah. So I have watched the recent Daniel Craig movies, and I can confirm that I have seen the new James Bond movie twice in 1 week, to say the least. And I would rate it as the best one. Story wise, the way that it was constructed, how they, like you were saying, all these twists and turns and all that kind of stuff. My view, probably the last three Daniel Craig movies have just got better and better, and I think this was, this is the crescendo. Cling, in my opinion.
Well, yes. I mean,
And then of course,
there's bombshells here.
the bombshells. Yes, excuse the pun. Yeah. So, well, I mean, it's a spoiler alert. So, anyone that's listening now that hasn't seen the movie, that doesn't want to hear a spoiler, I would mute yourself for now, and I'll give a thumbs up when you can unmute when we go on to the next topic. But yeah, I was shocked at the end, dude.
Yeah, because you kind of thought he will get out of this as he normally does. Somehow he'll get out of it. But he made a decision.
Yeah.
And I just think back to years back, the old movies where he actually got married and his wife got killed.
Right.
And I thought it was going to go down that route.
Mm.
Because James Bond, you cannot have love. That's
Yeah.
in your line of work, it's not allowed.
Yeah, sure.
But actually, he's retired. So he can have love.
Yeah.
Until this movie he decides to take a twist and say no.
Yeah. Where he comes back.
Yes. Well, he comes
As he gets reinstated
Yes,
as a
this
double O.
first spoiler.
Yeah, he gets reinstated as a double O.
Yes,
Right.
this is the first Bond movie ever to have two 007s.
Yeah, in it. Yeah, yeah. And then he gets reinstated, and then he reconnects with an old flame.
Yeah.
Discovers that he has some offspring,
Yes,
and
another
then decides to take a bullet for the family.
baby Bond.
Baby Bond, yeah. Um,
Uh,
so the question
okay,
is, right?
how do they make another one after this?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, do they? Leading up to me going to watch the movie, I've been very, very careful not to have a look at anything on social media that talks about the movie
Yeah,
and potential spoiler alerts and all that kind of stuff. So I wasn't sure how it was going to go, to be honest, right?
yeah,
But I have seen that there's quite a lot of chatter on the internet. After, like obviously I went and I said, okay, let me Google something, and I see there's quite a lot of comments on how the movie ended, and I haven't really read any of it yet. Have you?
no,
No.
deliberately not.
Yeah, so I don't know what everyone else is speculating is the next move in terms of James Bond, because effectively this movie is the end of James Bond.
Yes,
Okay, so what do they do? Do they go back in time? Do they now start off on a different timeline? Okay, and then if you bring into this whole thing of the conversation about, maybe it's time that there's a black Bond, or that there's a female Bond, or, I mean, how do you do it? I mean, I, I would imagine if it was the movie was based on 007, right? It would be easy. You could always have another 007, like we found out that you could have in this movie, right?
yeah,
But you can't then going forward call it a James Bond movie, because it won't be James Bond anymore.
exactly.
It would be 007.
Yes, it would. But
Okay.
the original books and all that were the series about, and they were called James Bond 007. And
Yes.
then you'd have the name
Yeah.
of the book or the movie
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's an integral part of this. I think the
Yeah.
only way they can do this is similar to what happened with Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
You have spin-off stories, or you go to the prequel
Yeah.
before Doctor No.
Yes.
Because he
but the
was already
funny,
established as a 007 in those
Yeah.
days.
but you know what the difficult problem is there. Well, not really. But if you were to try and stick to it, Casino Royale was actually the first James Bond book.
Yeah.
Kunk. Oops. Yeah. So no, definitely. And I mean, look, the first Bond movie was not Casino Royale. It was another one. What was it, Doctor No or
Doctor
Quantum
No,
Yeah.
1962. Yeah.
Yeah. So look, I mean, I suppose they can, they, like you say, different timelines, spin off, whatever you want to call it. I'm excited to find out how it's gonna unfold as a Bond fan.
Absolutely. And maybe because they should always leave you wanting more, and definitely here they have, because you just want to know
Yes.
what happens now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they wrapped up the story pretty well. How do you think about it? James Bond dead. His girlfriend and his daughter carry on.
Yeah.
Right, you see, that's the final thing, that you see them
Driving
drive
off.
the sunset and nice car, by the way.
Yeah. I wonder how
And
much
I've
that
got a
is
little
worth.
story for you. So that could be the spin-off, or sorry, yeah, they've killed all the baddies, right?
Yeah.
From Spectre, the whole organization
It's gone.
died in one scene. I mean,
Yeah.
it took him how many movies?
And they had the weapon the whole time.
Yes, and it'd been around for years.
Yeah, for 10 years. Yeah. It's crazy. But look, I mean, it was really, dude. I went and I watched it on Monday night. I went on my own, and then my girl said no, they would like to go watch it. So I said, okay, let's go watch it again. And we
Did you
went and we
pick up
watched it
anything
last night.
different in the second?
Well, look, you see, the thing is, what
Do you know what's
what had
happening?
happened was I had watched Spectre, the week before I went to go
Yeah.
watch it. Okay, and it's a good thing that I did, because then I'd forgotten a lot of the stuff that had happened. Because I
Yeah,
mean, it's like,
'cause it's
what's
been
it,
so
6
long.
years? Yeah, it's been 6 years ago.
6 years.
Yeah, so I rewatched that movie, and then obviously I knew who the characters were again. You know, that von Blofeld or whatever his name is, plus the
Yeah.
the girlfriend, and how did it end? Bond didn't shoot him. He just walked off, picked up the Aston Martin and drove off. And that was
Yeah.
like the end of the movie. So it was good to know that, to now go and watch this movie. But then after I'd watched the latest James Bond, where my girls said that they wanted to go watch it, I said, listen, it's worth watching Spectre again. So we watched Spectre again during the week, watched it on Thursday night. And then I picked up more stuff in Spectre, knowing what I'd known happened in the next movie
Yeah.
about Vesper and the chick with the fact that she had said in Spectre, she had said, someone had come to my parents' house to try and kill my father. And in the first time when I watched Spectre, I didn't pick that up. It didn't register. But when I watched the movie,
glossed over that. Yeah.
you gloss over it. But when you watch the final movie and you watch how it starts, then now you so it was. And now
Sneaky.
rewatching the latest one again, you pick up small things that you didn't pick up before, like the fact that when he went into that hotel and he found the secret room and he picks up a video cassette tape and it says Vesper on it. I didn't pick that up when
I had completely forgotten about Vesper. The opening scene where he finds the Spectre card by the grave. I'm like, oh, who was Vesper again? So yeah, it's a good recommendation if you're going to go and watch No Time to Die. Watch Spectre again.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they would hear that because the spoiler alerts. Anyway.
Still there.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't know what's going to happen next.
I do hope if they do go back to pre-Doctor No, which I think is the only way out here.
Yeah.
I just hope they keep, because if you watch those now, the costumes are very much dated to that era. There's no mobile phones, and there's two things: would they keep with the fashion sense of the time, and what on earth car would he have?
And gadgets. What gadgets would he have? And what challenges would there be in which villains would be in the movie based on the current issues that we have now, where it's cyber terrorism and all that. They're like pre-Doctor No, you didn't have that kind of stuff. But I think as viewers,
if you look at the computer and all the gadgetry they had then, it was far out. It was space age, but it was just a big board with lots of flashy lights. They have to do the same thing.
Well, I don't know. Well, I suppose in a way that people are comfortable with you making an updated version of something that theoretically might have been set 20, 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago. So I don't know. It's something that they'll have to try and work out.
Yeah, pre-Doctor No, they've got a whole opening here for a number of movies because it'll start with his child and explain the context of
but also you've got to remember that a lot of the movies that have been made in recent times are not actually based on Ian Fleming books, because Ian Fleming wrote X amount of books and passed away.
We ran out of books.
So in early days they were doing Doctor No, Moonraker. You can go and find those Ian Fleming books. All those books are now written by other people using Ian Fleming's characters, right?
Yeah.
So I think they've got a lot of creative freedom because of that. It's not like they slowly churning through all the different books, right? And they might have done them in, like Star Wars, done them in different sequences because they might not have been able to have the technology to film it or whatever that might be. I don't know. I mean, it's the same thing like when you watch Star Wars. I mean, the first, episode 4, 5, 6, or whatever the numbers were, they did those first. And then later they went back to 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But I think also the spin-offs, because there's such a big story and a vast character base. Star Wars can have these spin-offs, and there can be movies in their own right and still lend themselves to the actual main 6 episodes.
Yeah,
the
so I
main
think I
story.
think it doesn't necessarily have to be. So it's like almost like if you look at the Daniel Craig movies, you realize that there was a constant theme from the first movie, and that theme has gone through till the final movie. They didn't
Yeah,
really do that with the previous James Bond. I think the only sort of character that I can remember that came back that had been in a previous one was that Jaws guy, the guy with the metal teeth.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
so I think he was in two movies, but I
yeah,
don't think that there was a constant theme um, storyline between each movie that came out. So almost already they've done something different with the Daniel Craig era, and I think that they could do that again. They because I mean it's like time. I suppose you can look at it like a broad timeline, or you can narrow into it. So you could narrow in to like a year period in James Bond's life, and
yeah,
you could maybe create 4 movies out of that,
yeah.
right? But it fits narrowly in between in our minds where James Bond was, and they could have like a storyline in like a really short space of time. Because I mean, this one was like probably what? I mean, the first movie came out in 2006, and the last one came in 2021, right? The Casino Royale came out in
2006.
2006, yeah,
Yeah,
to 2021. But in reality, what time did that cover? So theoretically, there were 5 years between the last movie and this movie in the storyline.
yeah, yeah.
And before that, we don't really know what the timeline was. It could have been 6 months, it could have been a year, whatever it was. But that spanned over, in reality, in our time, 20, what's that, 16 years, 15 years. So, yeah, like at the end of the movie, I was going,
Huh? They can't do that.
but now, like, what now?
Yeah,
Like, what
exactly.
now? It's just like, anyway.
Normally, when the credits in a movie house go up, everyone just jumps to their feet and storms out.
Geez, dude, I sat there
When
until
the
the
credits
end.
came up, everyone was just sitting there stunned, going, "What's just happened?
There's
We
something
can't
wrong with
do
the
that.
movie. Play it again, play it again. Something went
There's got to
wrong.
be something in the credit. Maybe there's a little clip in the credits. Just wait. We'll watch the credits. There's going to be something else. There has to be."
Well, I have to admit, I half expected, like when he was standing there and the missiles were flying in, right? And then the next scene is like it's like all like foggy, and it's like you going through that fog, and it's getting clearer. I almost expected that there was some reason why he didn't die in that thing. I thought that they were going to come up with some creative way that he was actually alive, but he
They could
wasn't.
have just as easily have done that, written that way, that he would just forever stay away from his girlfriend and child.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Um, they could have just done that. He would go
yeah.
back to Jamaica and just stay away from
Yeah,
her.
live his life. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm very, like you say, I'm like super. Like, where's the next one now? I want
Yeah.
it. Bring it on, baby.
But they can't have made it because they haven't advertised who the next
No,
James.
they haven't. Yeah,
So
no. So
therefore,
I
is
think the
there another
first.
James Bond, or is this the end?
Well, I mean, that is the question. I can't imagine. Listen, in my view, I think James Bond lost its way during Pierce Brosnan's era.
Yeah,
Now,
that was just action movies for the sake of action
yeah,
movies.
and I don't think it was because of Pierce Brosnan. I just think it was the storyline. It became very, very slapstick in my mind. But I'm a James Bond fan. I
Yeah,
made my way through
watch them
it.
again. But you're right, it's not the same. The Daniel Craig era brought about so many new things.
Yeah.
It modernized it and made it more relevant because it was becoming a bit samey.
Mm.
Yes, it's an entertaining blockbuster movie, but you're gonna go, okay, yeah, I've seen it. Um,
Yeah.
right, okay.
And it's painful to watch it again.
And you're not sort of chomping at the bit to go, oh, there's so much happened.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it for 6 hours, and where
Yeah,
do they go from
absolutely.
here?
Like for me, like a good movie for me is a movie that for days afterwards, if not weeks afterwards, you're still thinking, geez, man, wow. That like you're still thinking about that movie For me, that's a good movie, and already I can feel that that's the case with this James Bond. It's like I'm replaying scenes in my head and going, "Wow, geez, okay, like why did it happen that way?" Or Anyway, that is the lowdown on the movie. So I'm very excited for the next one,
I
and I
thought,
can't
what's his
believe
name?
that they can.
Remy Malek. I thought he is an obvious baddie character. I
Yeah,
think that was well casted.
yeah. Did you watch Mr. Robot,
I
the
did.
series? Yeah,
I did. I think I gave up on beginning of series 2,
yeah, because
because
that
it
got
was
a
a
bit.
great concept, but then it
Yes.
just went a bit weird.
Yeah, it's lost its way. I mean, did you get to the end? Did you find out what was actually happening there?
I can't remember now. No,
The
I
guy,
didn't.
the guy was schizophrenic. So remember, he kept
Yeah,
on
no, I
having
think I know
interaction.
that. Yeah, I
He,
think I got that.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay. So he was having interactions with his father,
father. Yeah,
and they weren't
yeah,
actually. And it turned out that he had actually killed his father.
yeah, and that's why he was so messed up to start
Yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
there was so much potential there,
yeah.
and
Like
they
the
just went
first
down
season
this
was,
route. That
the
Yeah,
first season was amazing. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we look forward to finding out who the new James Bond is first. I
we're
hope
going
they
to
don't.
spend the next year debating the crap out of this.
Yeah, I hope they
But
don't
I'll
make
give
us
you some
wait.
insight, because
Cool.
one of my facilities is not. It's just on the same road as the movie studios. So
What's it? Is it Pinewoods or do they use
no,
different movies now?
There's another one built,
Okay.
because these big scenes require bigger buildings than Pinewood has.
Yes.
I think a lot of it's still shot there, but it's yeah, they're building these. Do you remember, what was that? Which one was it where the James Bond was it sinking in Venice?
Oh yeah, I
That,
remember. Was it
is that
was it was it
so
Daniel
that
Craig
whole
one? Yeah.
yeah, so that whole movie. Sorry, not the whole movie. That sort of scene requires a massive building, right, to
Yeah.
film,
Yes.
because you've got to have water tanks. You have all these mechanical, electrical aspects that go on. It's a massive set piece. So you've got to figure out how to do that. And so one of the buildings they built was massive, and they actually said, you know what, knock it down. It's not going to be big enough.
Oh
So they're
no!
building it.
Holy cow!
I mean, this is not just for Bond movies, obviously, but yeah, I'll keep my ear to the ground on that side.
Good man. Good. Good. That Aston Martin that was in the latest one. Well, not
Yeah,
the old one, but
yeah,
that other one. Jeez, man.
70s model.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It almost looks like when you look at it quickly, it's almost like got a Mustang, like the Eleanor vibe about it.
yeah.
I just want to see which model it was. Um, Thought maybe it would be quick and easy to see. Come
Thing
on.
is, you can make old cars. I mean, they'll tore through. It's ridiculous how much money they spend on cars in these
Mm,
movies.
yeah.
Um, did I tell you I went to a there was this traveling Bond museum, and they would go to a city and they stay there for 6 months, and you can go around all the props.
Mm-hmm.
And
No, you didn't tell me.
oh man, you would have died in this place. We rented out the whole place for a company do
Oh,
for a
lovely.
marketing event, and it had just about every car, from the Rolls Royce, the Aston Martins. I'll send you the pictures, mate. But they got the rockets out and everything, all the modifications, and they had a smashed up. They got the smashed up cars there, and you're looking at
Oh,
this car.
really?
That is a that's a you know
Yeah.
£300,000 car
Mm.
that you've just wrecked for this movie.
Yes.
And they give you stats there, like, oh yeah, this is one of 12 that we bought for the movie.
It's like, no, dude, it's
This
wrong.
take better go well.
You've only got one take, yeah.
But they
Yeah.
actually modified some of them, so they cut them in half. So
Mm.
because you still have to film inside the smashed vehicle, so they kind of show you how they did that. But they had all sorts of props there, man. remember the crocodile? Who was that? That was Roger Moore in one of the Roger
Yeah.
Moore movies. He
Yes.
snuck up on a place inside a crocodile head.
Yes.
They had that there. Oh, they had jet skis. They had loads, mate. It's mind blowing. But let's
So
not harp on about that
yeah,
because you
yeah,
went
yeah,
there. I'll
yeah,
just
yeah.
tease you with the pictures
Yeah, no, you
afterward.
just you will. I'm sure. I've just checked. That was this one was the Aston Martin V8 that first made its debut in the Living Daylights with Timothy Dalton.
Yeah,
Yeah, so let's see here. It's the Aston Martin V8 Saloon, similar to the one that first was seen in 1987 in the Living Daylights.
yeah.
Launched a decade before Timothy Dalton's Bond debut, the V8 Saloon was both the fastest four-seat production car of the day and Britain's first true supercar. How's that?
What
And
was
I
the
wonder,
year?
it's. Let me just go back there. It says it was launched a decade before Timothy Dalton's Bond debut, so it must have been, I don't know, 77.
He came in the mid 80s, so yeah,
Yeah, so
it
he
is
was 87.
yeah.
So the car would have been in the late 70s because it does look like a 70s
It
style
does
car.
look like a 70s, yeah.
But I wouldn't mind that, dude.
No, I'd take that
Yeah.
because the
It's,
Lamborghini at the time also looked similar. Yeah,
okay.
I just looked up because if you go further, if we're going to go to the prequel kind of scenario for the next Bond movies, what cars would they have? And I quickly looked up, when did Aston Martin start making cars? And
Yeah.
I think we're okay.
When did they start making cars?
They produced their first car because they made engines and things before. So they first made their car in 1915.
1950.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, wasn't it a case that they did they always make their own engines, or did they build a car and then buy engines? I can't remember. It was one way or the other? I can't remember.
The first Aston Martin was created by Martin by fitting a four-cylinder Coventry simplex engine, so not their engine, to the chassis of a 1908 Frascini. So it's not even their chassis.
Yeah. 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 But I suppose that's how these things start, you know?